Hi guys! I just got back from Mindo. Mindo is another small town in Ecuador, just kind of like Montanita, but unlike Montanita, Mindo is more famous for being in the forest, in the closer to the Amazon, but not in the Amazon. Anyway, I just wanted to make a video real quick because I feel like I have a lot to say about Mindo, even though I was really only there for a little while. Mindo is a lot closer to Quito than Montanita is. It's only 2 hours away instead of like 12 or however many Quito was. So instead of going for the whole weekend, I just went for a day. More like an afternoon actually, because I left this morning at 9:20 and it is now like 6:30 or so, and I'm already back in Quito. While I was in Mindo, the first thing I did was go into a travel agency and ask how to get to the Mariposaria, because that's where my friends were. And so I went out to this butterfly garden, a butterfly conservatory, and it was absolutely beautiful. You could just look around and see all of the life stages of the butterfly. These are a bunch of butterflies that are in their cocoons, and the ones that you see they're just hanging have actually just emerged from their cocoons, and some of them actually will start practicing flapping their wings, which is one of the cool things we got to see. The best part about the butterfly conservatory was that you got to have the butterflies land on your fingers. I met up with a couple of friends there. They had gone the night before because I went the day before to Otavalo, which I will tell you guys about really soon. But I just had a lot to tell you about Mindo, so I decided to do it first. Let's see. Then we came back into town to get our bus tickets back to Quito for this evening, but I couldn't get mine right at, they had already gotten theirs at 3 and I couldn't get mine at 3, so I got one at 4 and I went on a tour of a chocolate factory. They took us through and had us try everything. So here are just a few of the different plants that they had, starting with some real stevia that I actually got to try. That stuff tastes sweet from the beginning. Ginger root that they put in their chocolate, it's really good. Some chilies they put in their chocolate. There was a Canadian guy there that tried one of the hottest chocolates, and I told him, I was like, I'm from New Mexico and I would not have done that. But he did, and it was awful, so I understand. And then here are the cocoa beans, and here is one that they had us try. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, so this was my favorite part of Mindo, and probably my favorite part of Ecuador so far. I traveled back by myself on the bus for 2 hours, and you're just traveling through these beautiful, beautiful forests. It's just forests and mountains and clouds, and that's what Mindo's famous for, is the cloud forest. I put in my iPod and I just watched the clouds and the trees. And I traveled through the forest, and I thought about how I wanted to keep seeing this forever. My favorite parts were when you could see how immense the forest and the clouds were. And I thought about how big and ancient it was. And I thought about how scared my mom and sister would be on this road, and if my dad had ever driven anywhere like it. And the hundreds of people who had worked on these villages and roads, and I thought about my home and how incredibly different it was. About Antonio Gaudi, and how I could now fully understand his vision for blending architecture and nature. And I thought about how it would soon become memory, even as it was happening, and I was sad, because I would be leaving soon, even though I was happy and excited to move on. And I thought about how this would be a part of me, and of my personal memory and identity. And I thought, that's why I'm here. That's what makes the difference in a photo and visiting a place in person. So I listened to my music, and I watched as the trees went by while I still could.